Hello and welcome to another episode of Dance Teachers Academy. I am your host, Jose on the mic, and with me as always is the lovely, amazing dancer, Amay. How are you doing?
I am wonderful and I'm feeling extra colorful today.
I
think the world is more colorful, and especially this room, because Kasia is here.
The amazing Kasia is with us.
She makes everyone around her feel great and energetic. This is a high energy lady. We are so glad to see you.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Yeah, you're wound up like a 10-day clock. I love it.
But all the time we've been talking about that. That is your energy. That is your energy.
That's it. It's a blessing and a curse. You know, it's something that I have. Right, so it's fabulous, but sometimes it's exhausting for people. So, you know,
I like it.
It has pluses and minuses. So, like, you can get an extra charge, but when you don't need to be extra charged, maybe I'm not the person to be around.
Yeah.
Well, in the dictionary under extrovert, I believe Kasia.
They have
the
a picture.
Yeah. But you know, and the definition of an extrovert really is someone that gets energized by being around people. So I think someone who might be exhausted by being around you is an introvert. Introvert needs their time by themselves. But that's why we all get along, because we're all like
correct, because we feed off of one another.
Absolutely.
Yes. So we've had a fun day. The last time we saw you in San Antonio, and we were just one fun thing after
that was fabulous.
Yes, it was.
Mm-hmm. So and you're here, 30th anniversary Emerald Ball.
Oh my God, absolutely. This is congratulations, first of all, to Wayne and Donna. This is awesome. I remember this competition, oh my God, since I was in high school. That was not that long ago. For those of you that don't know me, you know what I mean?
5 or 6 years ago, something like that.
That's right, but times fly so fast. I remember when I came to America, I didn't speak any English. I was in high school. I was dancing with Donald Johnson, being at Donna's and Wayne's studio, 2005, in Torrance. And
a lot of champions came out of there.
Oh my God, yes. We used to actually we shared one house with Michael Mead and Olga Foroponova, and the two of us. And we also have Andrea Fortin living with us, and all of us became champions. We laugh these days.
The champion house.
It's a champion house.
Something was in the water. Something was crazy. And
something about that room.
The studio. Like, I remember being almost a child in high school, right? Starting to dance professionally, not able to understand much. That was probably Donald's favorite years to practice with me, because I could not say anything. So I
like her that she's quiet.
I was the perfect partner, I'm sure. But he always knew I'm very expressive with my face, so he always knew if I like it or I don't. And now we laugh with my friends that, you know, I speak so much that I'm trying to make it up for all the years I couldn't say a thing.
Because when you
making up for lost time,
you did not speak English.
I didn't speak English. I would quickly say, my name is Kasia. I don't speak English. And that was it. So people right away knew not to talk to me, right? So they would not waste time, because lots of time people would say like, oh, and this, and I would just sit there thinking.
And you've always been talkative, right? In whatever language.
In Polish. So I am originally from Poland, and we speak very fast in Polish. And so now I end up speaking.
But English didn't slow you down either. So.
Now I go, and I love it. But with Wayne and Donna, oh my God. You know, I felt like I was their little baby. And then, of course, we ended up going to the competition. I remember then eventually I graduated from Loyola Marymount, which is, 10 minutes away from the hotel over here. So 1 year after my graduation, I was so high on life, right? When you're graduating, you're just like walking on clouds, without food, pretty much, without any sleep. And we're dancing a competition. Over here, I have a bunch of my friends coming over, my family. So this competition holds a very special place in my heart, you know. And we've always done workshops. We judged quite often. So this is definitely an event.
So this is just coming home for you.
Yes, nice. It's fabulous.
And you're judging.
Yes, I'm judging.
And we saw you finish a class.
Yes.
You have whenever you're teaching, it's a very popular class. That I'm just going to say that. You don't have to say it.
Well,
I will say it. Yeah. And they have a great time. And so I'm sure they enjoy that energy. Because there's some classes that are very informative and they're talking a lot. But I do feel like when someone comes for a dance experience, they want to move often. So although the information is important, So then, the information is important. Even in my own classes, there's times for everything. There's times for we have to stop and talk about this, right? Or maybe somebody's very upset, and it's like, well, we have to address this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's keeping the balance, right? Because I have certain dumb classes as well when it's more of a seminar.
Okay.
It's more something that I really want people to pay attention to, depending also on what's the level of the class. If it's my professional, sometimes it's not about doing it. Sometimes it's about changing their mindset, changing how differently they think about the dancing. Because my degree is in psychology.
Really?
I'm very fascinated how people think of how the brain controls the body, right?
Yes,
and so
it's a thing.
It's a theme.
The mind.
Right, it is a thing.
With all the champions we're talking to, the mind has been so important. It's like that's because I forget who said it, but it was so funny. Otherwise, all we see is people exercising.
Oh, absolutely. Because there's no intention. There is no deliberate actions. And of course, there's nothing wrong with exercising. There's nothing wrong with, sometimes, even for me, I love social dancing. I just want to dance. I don't want to think about it. I just want to bust a move and groove and feel good.
Bust a move. I think she's dominated the English language group.
She's dominated the English language, right?
But then,
she dominates everything.
When you're at the competition, it has to be a deliberate movement. Like, I don't tell people just dance. Because for different people just dance means different things. And at the competition, there's deliberate movements that we're looking to find and looking to compare, right? So sometimes you have a seminar that it's a little bit more mentally oriented. This is what I've noticed that you think of. Therefore, this is the result that you're producing. So if we can change how you think of the movement, how you change of yourself, how you think of the partnership, do you understand what's the difference between social dancing and competition, performance and competition? Because sometimes people don't. I feel like sometimes we take someone who started for social purposes and then we get them excited about the competition. They get here and they're overwhelmed and they do not know that this is a different game, right? So sometimes based on who is in the class or what I call this the subject of the conversation is, it might be a little bit on conversation and changing the mind, or sometimes you go, okay, now I don't want you to think about it, I just want you to do it, right? Because a big success of the kids, we can see that the kids progress significantly faster than adults because they don't need to understand, and adults have developed a brain. And it's a blessing and a curse. So I always tell my adult clients, you guys are pain in the butt, right? As an adult, we're terrible students, and I'm not saying my students only, me included, because we like to think, how is this and how is this? And sometimes...
why are we doing this?
Right. And sometimes, I mean,
too many questions.
My clients will relate to this totally. Sometimes I would say, because they would say to me, I don't understand. And I would say, you do. Because I've explained it to you. And I am pretty thorough about explaining from every possible angle. You just can't do it. And that's a different conversation. You understand, you just can't do. So let's not think about it anymore. Let's get your butt on the dance floor and do it again and again and again.
Until you get it.
Even when you think, I want to think about it, forget it. I just want you sometimes to move that arm until the body go, it's more natural. Lots of the movements that we're asking our clients are not that natural to begin with. But if you keep on repeating, you develop a natural understanding, you develop natural way of moving, and therefore we can progress. So sometimes I ask my clients, stop being adults, become a child, play, enjoy, be committed, be serious about it, but allow the intelligence of the body at some point kick in versus having the brain controlling every single movement. Understand?
Love
and
that.
Then the body have to do its own. It's almost like when you drive the car. You point in the right direction, you push gas, you don't try to help the engine. You're not operating as an engine. You understand you need an engine, you need a direction where you go, and the car has to do its job. So that's sometimes how I like to think of.
I like how you broke that
doing the
down.
body.
Very
Pretty simple.
Smart.
Very simple. Just like driving a car.
Just get out of your own head.
Right.
Get out of
Right.
it.
Yeah, and a lot of things we're talking about, though, we have this conversation that to get so much better in your dancing, to become a champion, practice, and get your mind right. I'm saying it in a very simple way. And it's simple, but not easy.
Exactly. That's it. Because I think it starts, you have to have the right idea. you have to have an intention for practice. Today we're going to be, let's say, working on straightening the leg or bending the leg or opening the body. It could be something very simple, but having a clear idea, this is what we're trying to do, because a lot of couples fall short on their improvement because they practice for sake of practicing. So they're there for 2 hours, they do stuff, but they're busy with, oh, I need to do this and this and this, and they touch the surface so little that there is not a definite improvement. Versus if both people, both partners agree, today we're working on this one move even, or this one concept.
So there has to be an intention for every practice.
Absolutely, because then you
Like
can
a
get
plan.
something done.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
Otherwise, it could be fun. It could be still beneficial because maybe you're remembering your routine, you're getting a little bit more cardiovascular exercise, but to see the progress, the technical progress, it has to be a little bit more intentional. So you set the intention and then you repeat. You see it at the end of the day or maybe at the end of the week. Do we see the progress? If you don't, you have to stay on the same conversation, on the same intention for long enough to actually see the progress. Because sometimes people quit or change the intention before you can see the progress. And therefore, it's almost like going backwards, right?
And a waste
There you
of
go.
time.
Yes, to some degree.
Yeah. Okay, so I have a question. So, have you been in coaching situations where you feel like the instructor, the way they maybe interact with their student or what they're asking of their student is not beneficial? And how do you handle that situation? Maybe it's the way they are communicating or what they're asking physically, and that's not going to work. So how do you handle that?
That's a very interesting conversation. Usually by the time they get us on the coaching lesson, the teachers are usually very curious to see what do we recommend, right? Okay. So it's not only that we give the information to the student, which obviously we do, right? But it's also guiding the teacher. What do we think the student is ready for? And sometimes I could say, you know what, I've seen that you guys are working on this, but I would recommend doing that. Or I see that you've been working on this. Now I feel that's enough. Why don't we add that piece? Right? So usually, very rarely that it happens that a teacher is kind of stuck in their way. Right? Usually by the time they invite us, they're willing to have us kind of guiding them as a team, right? Because one of the things that happen, and I feel that sometimes it's not very clear even for the students to understand why does the coach comes in. And sometimes the teachers think, oh, well, I can do it on my own. And no one says that you can't. Sometimes the information, or a lot of time the information is very similar, especially if you are a trained dancer yourself and teaching your clients, you know lots of things. But when you are playing the game, when you're dancing with your students versus when you're watching the game as a third eye, the game looks very different. We've all, I always laugh, I always give my clients the example, my Polish people, we like soccer, right? So I went to the bar when Poland was playing some team, right? And of course we have Polish team, the other team, we have the fans for both teams, and everybody, no, go left, no, go right. And I'm thinking, that they cannot hear you. We're just watching this on TV, but everybody is a coach, right? It's like, no, what are you doing? But it's easy to see it when you're watching it from the perspective of seeing both sides.
Sure.
Right? What's the best move? Versus when you are playing the game. When they're playing, they don't see it.
They're too busy.
Right? They're too busy doing their thing. Mm-hmm. And so even for the teachers,
Good point.
they are busy dancing with the students. So a lot of things get slightly overlooked. Versus when you have a coach, we see it like watching the game from the outside. Mm-hmm. And then we can go, okay, do this move here, do this move here, move maybe a routine a little bit more, right? Maybe choreographical changes. Or, okay, you've done this technical bit, now maybe we can add this. Or let go of this one and change to something else.
It's a fresh pair of eyes is what it is.
Exactly. And also, we get used to, the students get used to the teacher, and the teacher gets used to the student. So they know each other excuses. Oh, my student cannot do this because of certain health limitations. We come in, we don't see it. Right? It's kind of like a fresh new patient. I always say, show me your symptoms. I'm going to prescribe you something that I think is going to help you.
Okay.
Right? And I tell usually my clients, unless you really have to tell me you have some disability, right, that are serious, please don't really tell me. Let me just see what you do right now. and let me help you with what I see that I think it's applicable. Because sometimes there's too much conversation between your student and the teacher that you convinced each other that, oh, I shouldn't, or I should, or I can't. Versus when someone comes in, I don't see it, I think you're doing fabulous, let's do it. I infuse you with a belief it's possible, it's doable, and before you know it, people do it. That's it. You know, so sometimes when you don't know people, it's easier to give them a little bit more of a challenge because you're not so cautious. You're not worried, oh, maybe they can handle, oh, maybe they're going to have pain, or maybe, you know, they're not going to feel good about it. Suck it up, do it, and before you know it, they believe in it, I believe in it, and life is good. You know?
And I think I've had a lesson with you. At the end of the lesson, I felt excited and encouraged, and
awesome.
you know, yes, and I saw that with a lot of the ladies at the end of your class, and then so I want to talk about the Kasia's boot camp.
Yes.
Because you talked about that, and I saw a lady listening to you, and then after the class, she talked to you. Oh, and you mentioned something. Is it true that part of the experience is that you go shopping? Did I hear you correctly? I was like, I'm going
just for that.
Not just
for the shopping.
And to shop with Kasia. I mean, that would be fun. But so you have a whole experience. I didn't realize that. So explain that.
So what I do, so I've developed this program called High Heel Boot Camps.
High Heel Boot Camp.
And it's for ladies mainly because there's just more women competing, right? So when I coach, I've realized that lots of time my clients would be worried about practicing something of their own because they were worried that they would practice the wrong thing. So when they come to me, it's a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 3-day boot camp. I give them a lot of drills, a lot of things that they can work on their technique on their own without a partner. On how to use their legs, how to use the hips, how to use the rib cage, when to turn, how to turn it, how to stop it, how to have more speed, how to slow down, to take completely control over your body. I say, I teach you how to drive your own vehicle. And then, when you are skilled in your vehicle, then you can actually dance with your partner, and you don't really have to worry about, oh my God, I'm off balance, right? Because you can develop your own balance. Your partner can help you, but it's really not his job, right? So that's kind of, we do 15 hours of that. There are 5 sessions of 3 hour long each that we just work on all kinds of technical issues. We also work on preparation for the competition, how to mentally prepare yourself, because I feel that that's the subject that it's a little bit lot overlooked, right? We don't prepare people for the competition.
Yes, I agree.
But then, of course, we go and have lunch together. We go have dinner together. If we have time, when we eat a little bit faster, then we go shopping, right? So it's a whole experience for like 2.5 days.
Gobble up your salad. We're going shopping.
And then what we do, because of course during the class we talk about the dancing. I talk, they listen, and then. During the breaks in between, that's our personal time that my girls can ask me, personal questions, or so they can get to know me a little bit. Because some questions are personal, and I have the right to answer or not. I usually do. But then we talk about, how to do the hair, makeup, the tanning, the fishnets, different kinds of shoes. So it becomes a little bit more well-rounded. Not just the dancing, because of course when we are on a coaching lesson, there is no time to talk about all the other stuff. We just address your dance issues, right? So this way, it's a kind of a fun experience.
Yes,
altogether.
that sounds great.
That sounds cool.
So, and just so you know, I don't know what the price is. You don't have to say it, but she went and asked you, and she left. She goes, "That's not bad. I'm going to do that."
It is not bad.
She was excited.
It's that because it's 15 hours, not 15 45 minutes sessions with me. So it's actually, if you would have to pay individually for the time to have me privately, it will be significantly more than coming to the workshop. And the workshops are small groups, right? So it's not a big group class. It's 4 to 6, maximum 10 ladies.
I love that.
Right. So there is enough time that you can kind of have your own pace, but I still have enough time that I can address you individually. And oftentimes I would say, okay, for you, even though we're doing this, I would like you to concentrate on your right side, picking up the hip. To you, I would like you to concentrate on dropping of the shoulders. So even though I introduce the subject to a group, then I spend enough time with each person to kind of give them individual direction of, I think for you, this is how we're going to tweak that general information. So it's a very personal, even though there is a group. And let me tell you, in the beginning, some of my ladies said, no, I'd rather have you on my own. I'm like, okay, well, let's do it. 15 hours later, when I'm breathing on your neck, it's not that fun. So she said, oh, thank God there were other women in the class. Yeah. So when you went after that, I could kind of get my pieces together, because it gets intense, you know, it's fun. You get a lot of information, and of course you are more than welcome to take notes. I give you actually syllabus so you can take notes. A lot of them are already done for you, and you can videotape it, right? I'm one of these people, okay, we can videotape pretty much anything you like to.
This is nice. So
yeah, because this is for you. Like, I'm here, you know, to help you, not the other way around it. But also, if I'm there with you for 15 hours non-stop, it becomes a little bit overwhelming. So it's nice to have other people that I can kind of address other ladies' issues, and then by the time I come back to you, you already feel a little bit more comfortable. You already, you know, practiced a little bit.
Yeah.
And also, it's
nice. You're out there giving heat to one of the other girls.
That's it, exactly.
So, and then we have lunch or lunch or dinner or
Correct.
lunch and dinner, and I bet your psychology degree comes in handy at that time.
Yes. During the dinner.
Yeah. I mean, because I think it's normal for, as a dance instructor or a coach, often people will tell us some very important or emotional things about themselves.
Correct.
You know, they feel comfortable, they feel a connection,
yes.
You know.
And so that's the thing, you know, one of the things what I've noticed, not to brag about what it is that I do, because of course I developed this at first for to help women to understand their body, right? Most importantly. But then when I ask them to give me a testimonial, the most common thing, almost all of them would say that they feel very empowered when they would leave my workshop. And I think that's part of the psychology, part of, I very much care to help people.
I know you do.
I have a lot of energy, and I feel that's a gift that I have.
Sure.
And I am very much willing to give it to people, right? I'm very much like to share what I have, what I know, but also one of my commitment is, yes, to tell you what to do, but to show you the ladies that come into my workshops are grown-up women that are successful in a business, successful mothers, successful wives. They've done fabulous, great things in their life. And I want them to understand that being a dancer, you can take advantage of that. You might not know
Leverage
the
off of
cha-cha
it.
basic. You might not know the baramba bags. That's my job to show you. But I don't want you to feel small. I don't want you to feel insignificant of who you are. You are fabulous, and I'm just going to guide you through this new adventure, right? And so those are the conversations that
I'm going to go. I'm going to go
fun.
to the
You know, it is. And what I love is because these women are so experienced that I actually get quite a bit back from them. You know, they help me to grow as a human being. They help me to become a better person.
So when is this boot camp?
So I think it's for girls only, unfortunately.
Well, I
the guys
realize that.
Kasia doesn't do one for us.
Well, you know, they asked me, but guys asked me as well. And I actually considered that maybe in the future I could create something, because guys need some help as well. There is just not that many, right? There is few, and usually they don't travel. They like to just work with their teachers, and that's about it. Women are a little bit more, you know, progressive, and like, I want to win, I want to do this, right? And then like, oh, we get to hang out with you. So it becomes kind of, you know, a fun thing. But my commitment is to help you dancing, but it also show you that you can do this. You can do this, and no matter what age you are at, you could be fabulous dancer, right? You could be a beginner in a younger bracket, in an older bracket, and you could still be fabulous, right? And I do not let anyone tell my women any other way, because this is what we do.
And you heard it right here.
Well, this is great, and the thing is, I know it's very sincere, your generosity from your art, and you just, I mean, I know it's translating, you know, onto the screen right now. But you know, just spending some time with you, you are like this all the time, not just on the camera, and that's great. And so it is nice to be around positive energy. Who doesn't like to be around positive energy? I think that's wonderful.
Eeyore type people.
Well,
you know, it's a choice. You know, like lots of time you hear this, like inspirational quotes or something that happiness is a choice, and it really is. It's crazy how, you know, we had the saying, glass half empty or half full. My thing is, I like the glass that it's full. Forget the half. Right? Why would you choose for half? I don't like compromising. It's half. And of course, I'm not saying I don't go through my tough days. We all do. I'm exhausted. Something bad happened, right? We have our challenges. Of course we do. But it's your choice how long are you going to stay in that mindset.
Right, don't dwell on it.
You know, it's crazy. Even I have, you know, some singers that I really like. When they release a sad CD, I don't buy it. And my friends say, oh, but you know, aren't you a fan? I'm like, yes, but I do not want to be in that mindset because it brings me back, let's say, to a heartbreak or a bad situation that happened in my life. We've all had those. And I'm not saying avoid that. I'm not saying, you know, I don't have moments that I feel cozy and, you know, you like cry a little bit, and I don't like romantic movies or sappy movies. They're fabulous and they're necessary for us. But I feel that sometimes we stay in that mindset for so long. If it's a song that takes you back to a sad place, why would you listen for the whole month? Listen maybe once or twice, reminisce, and then done. Then get, I feel happy, you know, get the song that gets you up and going, because then you have a chance to change. You have a chance to see that, you know, life is good. Life should be good. Life should be exciting. Yes, they're up and down.
Sure.
But, you know, overall, if you decide it's going to be fun, it's going to be exciting, it actually could be that way.
Right. Make it that way.
That's where I stand for it. You know, when my friends ask me, well, how was your day? How was your class? I'm like, my class is good. Because that's my commitment. When someone comes in to have a lesson with me, my commitment to them is, you're going to have a good time. You're going to learn. I'm going to feel accomplished. So therefore, to some degree, I take control of the situation, right? I tell you, hey, it's nice seeing you. I'm so excited, right? Even if you have a bad day, right? If I let you talk about the bad day, you're probably going to bring my energy down. But if I right away give you my positive boost, right? Almost immediately people forget that they had a bad day. And then we go, okay, let's do something fun and exciting for you. Let's get you out of your little hole and, you know, attach the wings back on it and you can fly again. That's it. And it's so, and I feel it's a choice, you know, it's a choice for each of us. And it's definitely my choice and my commitment to my clients, no matter what level they are at, that I want them. I remember working with my coaches. Colin James actually was probably a huge influence on that commitment for me to my clients, because I always felt so empowered after lessons with him.
Beautiful.
Fabulous information. Of course, he's a fabulous technician, you know, tell you what to do and how to do it. But somehow, just the way he was with us, I felt I can do it. Even though I might have not be able to do it then, even though I'm sure he many times looked at me like, oh my God, what is she doing? Was nice enough not to say that, right? But when I left, I actually felt, you know, I can. I have to work hard at it. But there was always a light at the end of the tunnel.
Sure. Yeah.
Because sometimes you walk with people, and we all have this experience, that the information is fabulous, but they make you feel so small. And they make you feel so insignificant. And like, it's never going to happen. That it's really not worth it. If you have that feeling, oh my God, I'm never going to make it. No matter how fabulous the information is, you will not make it. It's, you have to believe that it's possible, and then surround yourself with people. They're going to go, you know, that's your goal. I'm going to support it. You might not be there yet. Because if someone says, I want to be the world champion, it's a ridiculous idea at the moment. But the only way to beat a world champion is to have that ridiculous idea in the beginning.
Sure, you have
oh
to
my
have
God,
it.
that person is fabulous and I want to be better than them. And if you share it with too many people, they will tell you that's ridiculous. They are fabulous and you are not. But my thing is, before you're good, you're no good, right? And you're going to work on it. And if you have high goals, if you go, you know, I love it, I appreciate you are my inspiration, but at some point I want to have your spot. It's possible to do it.
Sure.
But unfortunately, lots of time people would say, oh, that's too high of a dream for you, sweetheart. You just started it. We all have to start somewhere.
Gotta start somewhere,
you know,
right?
At some point, when I was in high school, I want to be a world champion. I remember... So Wayne, I remember he used to do the videos at the studio. There was two sides of the studio. And we will practice on one side, and then the champions will go to the back room and do the videos. And I remember, I don't know if I told this to Donald, but inside I'm thinking, oh my God, I want to do this one day. Like, and we were just starting. I was like Rising Star, maybe finalist, not even winning Rising Star. We're just starting to dance. But that was my thing. That was my goal, right? So then when we finally were invited, I'm like, we made it, right? Because that means you are the champion. You've actually got those things done. You have arrived. Now your opinion matters. And it was so fabulous to do those videos. And my friends sometimes say, oh my God, but that's so much work. And this, I'm like, it is. But the meaning behind it.
Yes.
It's so different for us, for me, than someone who's just watching it from the outside. You know, because that was something that I want to do. That was my dream. That was my goal. To be good enough to be one of the, that's it, to go to the back room, to be chosen by Wayne to do the videos. And now I got it. Which is, I mean, that's so interesting.
So, no, I love what you're saying, because I think it is really important, just like a doctor, too. Mm-hmm. We can decide which doctor we want if we don't like our doctor.
Absolutely.
And so I think sometimes people will, I have so much respect for so many instructors and coaches. I have seen, though, where there's some instructors who have been demeaning, not encouraging. And so I love that you're encouraging and you're determined to give them a positive experience, and it will help them.
Because that's the only way.
And they have a choice what instructor they have, right? So
Correct.
If you feel bad
you can't
at the end of the day.
No matter how, that's the thing. I remember when we won with Donald our Rising Star event in Blackpool. And my clients sometimes, so I have very proud parents. They're fabulous, but of course, they've been with me every step along the way, the up and down. And so when you walk into my parents' house, they have a wall of fame of me and my brother, right? And you see the pictures from Blackpool. So the minute you walk in, boom, there it is, right? So my dance friends, who are, let's say I coach, would come and say, oh my God, what was the experience? And I would tell them that particular year, well, a few years leading to it, I was so determined this is going to happen. And you could literally tell me I am the worst dancer you've ever seen. I said, okay, tell me how I can improve it. There was not a tear, oh, poor me. I'm like, I hear you. What can you do for me to help me?
Sure.
Yes, but that particular year, I was so excited to go. Because the years before, I was scared. I was scared, feeling, oh my God, am I good enough? Like my feet are not as pointed. I've never done ballet, so I did not have these gorgeous arches. So there was a doubt, am I good enough? And the previous year, we didn't even make a semi-final, I don't think, with Donald. And the next year, we won. It was like, people were going like, oh my God, this is crazy. You guys were not even anywhere close to be a runner-up for anything, right? And it just kind of happened. But my mindset, when I explained to my clients, I was so excited to show people what I do. And in Blackpool, if you've been there, there are previous champions. Half of the room are people that are fabulous, that I look up to so much on the videos in all days. I probably should not say that. But, and VHS tapes when we would just roll them over, right, to look at our idols. So they're there. So it's very intimidating, right? Because you don't want to disappoint them. You want to show them that you are great. And the previous years, I was scared that they might not like me. That particular year, I want them to see, oh, look, I can do this and I can do this. And I was so excited and so positive. And my friends would say, it shows. It was contagious because it was so much happiness that even if I did not do something fabulously, because of my positive attitude and energy, it was not such a big deal. Because what I created, the experience that I give them was significantly more important than the little mistake. But you can only do this when you have people that believe in you, when you believe that it's possible. Mm-hmm. And that's probably why I commit so much to share that with my clients. Right. Because it's priceless. When you have that, it's great for the audience, and it's such a delicious experience for yourself. Because you actually see the audience, you actually are present. you know, and you have this internal happiness, almost like a child going, oh my God, I want ice cream. And it's so crazy because I remember studying sports psychology at the same time that we were actually dancing in black ball. And we talked about it, that it has to be completely disconnected from trying to beat anyone. It's not even thinking, well, I want your candy, I just want mine, and it's so fabulous for me. And if you have your own happiness not connected to anyone else, it becomes completely different. Because lots of time we compare ourselves, right? You don't have to. You just have to be fine. Like, I did not go there to beat anyone. I just wanted to show them what I do. And therefore, it became so big that I was able to beat other people. But that was not my goal. My goal was just to show them how excited and how enthusiastic I am about my own thing. And that's what I would like my clients to know, my professionals, my Pro-Am students, to kind of understand, just do your thing and be excited about your thing. Now, of course, I'm Eastern European. I will tell you one more time, right? But don't lose your enthusiasm. Be enthusiastic, be happy, be excited. But yes, it's going to be a tough route on repetition because you have to develop that muscle. I'm not saying just think happy thoughts and life, you know, things will happen. You still have to put the work into it.
Sure.
But if it's infused with the positivity, it's amazing the things you can accomplish.
Right.
Versus if you're really good and repeat, but you surround yourself with negative people or you become negative, it doesn't go anywhere. You know, you work, and you get more frustrated and you get more disappointed. And we feel that, we see that, you know, that the energy is not contagious, that the energy is not reaching you, that it's bound, it's heavy, it's dark. You know, so.
How about that?
Yeah. Be light out there.
All right, we could probably go on for the next 3 hours here. Yes.
I know. I will come down.
We're going to have to reel you back in here, otherwise we'll be here for the next 3 hours. The lovely Kasia.
Which would be lovely, by the way.
Oh, yes, it would be, yes. Thank you for taking some time out and this inspirational bit that you just dumped on everybody here. It's great. I'm telling you, this was awesome.
Thank you for having me. This has been so fabulous. Thank you for letting me share my experience, some advices, you know, for our audience out there. This has been great.
Yeah. And your boot camp, what time frame is that?
So I have them a few times a year,
okay.
Usually 3 or 4. My next one is the second weekend of July.
Of July?
Yes,
all right, wonderful.
Gatsby Gala.
Oh yes, of course. And before then, you should come and join me for my Great Gatsby Gala. I have a competition with Louis Barr in San Diego, June 5th through the 9th. And it's a regular ballroom competition wrapped in 20s. So it literally feels like you're in a theme park. We have vintage cars. We even take the modern furniture out. We bring furniture from 20s.
Oh, fun.
Really?
Yes, we have live orchestra. We have cars that you can take pictures with it, but you also can hop in. We have a chauffeur that drives you around. So Frank Sinatra is singing, you are being driven. It feels like you're in the movies. I love it. I always take my parents and my friends. I'm like, you know, even if you don't understand the dancing, just come in and have fun. And we drink champagne every night. Who doesn't like some bubbles?
Who doesn't
I love it.
Right? I mean, yeah, so
Perfect.
Come and join us.
Definitely have to check that out.
And have fun. Fun.
Fun.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, young lady.
Thank you.
The lovely May.
Thank you, and thank you for being a light in the world.
There we go.
Thank you so much.
All right, folks, so this has been another episode of Dance Teachers Academy. Thank you for watching.